Hey there, kids. Folks call me the Curious Fox because I'm curious about stories. Today's story is about a cute little kitty named Dusty. Why don't you have a seat and I'll tell you all about it. There once was a little kitten called Dusty. She was called Dusty because some very mean people threw her out of a truck and into the road one day. Without looking behind them, they drove off and left the little kitten in a cloud of dust. A milkman doing his early morning rounds found Dusty curled up underneath a piece of cardboard at the side of the road. She was so little and scared and so pretty, with a little black face and a black body and white-tipped ears and white-tipped paws, that he couldn't just leave her behind. So the milkman picked up the little kitten and placed her in the passenger seat of his van, wrapped up in the spare jumper that he kept for exceptionally cold mornings. He fed her a little saucer of milk, but the kitten didn't seem to be hungry at all. She was still too scared to even eat, the poor little thing. Once he had finished his rounds, the milkman didn't know what to do with the kitten, so he took her home to the house. When he arrived, his two children, Mustafa and Ada, were having breakfast. "Morning, Dad," they cried in unison. "How was your morning?" In reply, he showed them the little kitten and explained where he had found her. "Oh, Dad, she's beautiful!" exclaimed Ada. "Can we keep her?" "I don't think your mom would like that," was all the milkman said. "We'd better not." The children were sad that they wouldn't be able to keep Dusty, but at the same time, they were pleased that they had the whole morning, well, almost the whole morning if you didn't count school, to play with a little bundle of fur. Their dad, tired out by his morning's work, went upstairs to have a sleep. When he woke up, he was hungry. It was nearly lunchtime. "I'll go out to the shops to buy something for lunch," he thought to himself. At the supermarket, he remembered the little cat and decided to buy her a treat. She would probably like ground beef, he decided, so he added some to his shopping basket. He parked the car outside the house, got out, and opened the trunk to unload the shopping. Suddenly, he heard a voice calling to him. It was Mrs. Ramirez, his next-door neighbor, a nice old lady who had lived alone since her husband passed away 2 years ago. "Hello there, Mrs. Ramirez," he called out. "How are you today?" Mrs. Ramirez seemed to be in a bit of a state. She was red in the face and was excitedly waving her arms around. She was holding the house telephone and looked like she'd just received a phone call. "Oh, good morning," she said. "I'm fine, thanks. And you?" But she began to explain. "Well, actually, it's my granddaughter's birthday today, and I don't know what to get her as a present. She's asked me for a kitten, but I've telephoned the cat adoption agency, and the little tabby cat I'd hoped to adopt for her was taken in by someone else. Now I don't know what to do." The milkman smiled to himself. What a stroke of luck! "Why don't you come in for a cup of tea, Mrs. Ramirez? There's someone I'd like you to meet." As for little Dusty, she was curled up, asleep, under the sink, unaware that she had 2 treats in store for that morning: a new home and a plate of ground beef. Aw, poor little Dusty. It's a good thing the milkman found her. I hope she loves her new home. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.